Welcome back to another segment here of Keep It 100. Back with a new crew on set. So, guys, we're going to talk about, does social media negatively affect relationships? Who wants to start first?
I think it does. It can. I'm not going to say that it does because it can do. I think it's either going to help a relationship or it's going to hurt a relationship. There's no really in between middle in that. Because either you're going to be talking like nonstop with someone. Like again, if you were to just Snapchat a person, if you were to just keep talking to them through means of that, it could go really well. But if you're just going to Snapchat them, it can also kind of get awkward at certain points as well, where you really don't have that much to say. So I think a lot of it kind of just depends on. I think what it really does is bring out what type of relationship it is.
I think that's a good point. I'm going to bounce off it a little bit and say that it really just depends on the person, like the type of situation I guess the relationship's in. So it depends on like how close you are and the connection you're in. That definitely, like, it's going to hold a toll on you because with technology now and like social media, it definitely has like all these capabilities with like connecting with people from different places and all that kind of stuff. So,
you know, I'm going to say this: it will only affect the relationship if you let it. If your boyfriend or girlfriend is Snapchatting like someone else of the other gender and you get mad at that, that's your fault. I mean, like, it could be malicious or it could just be like, you know what I mean? Like, you could just be Snapchatting your friend. Like,
I agree with that.
Or you could just be liking your friend's Instagram picture.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that big a deal unless you make it a big deal.
Yeah, I'm going to bounce off exactly what you said. What was social media created for? For connecting and contacting, staying in touch with people.
Exactly.
But it's how we use it that has made it negative. In terms about now, you see everyone on Instagram flexing and faking, oh, you know, we're in a happy, loving relationship, but you don't know what goes on behind the doors. You don't know what they go through personally. I feel like here's the thing with this. Nowadays, we're more controlling and we always want to watch after everyone what this person's doing, what that person's doing. It affects our own psyche in terms of like, you got a boyfriend, you got a girlfriend, and say I have a girlfriend, which apparently I do. If you guys don't know, she's on set right now. So if you are like, you have snap streaks, right?
Yeah.
You have snap streaks with people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you have snap streaks with people, if it's harmless, you send one a day, no problem with that. As long as you're keeping your partner informed, like, okay, this is who I'm snapping, this is who this person is, yada, yada, yada. But all of a sudden, if you only have a certain amount of snap streaks with like people that they know and it stays to that format, then there's no big deal. Now, when you start seeing more snap streaks, it's like, whoa, why are you snapping this and that, blah, blah, blah? Why are you adding, texting all these other girls? It's like when you let it affect you in that terms of sense, then it's like, okay, well, what are you doing behind the scenes that I don't know about? And the thing about that is when you want to like control everything what a person does on social media, that's when it's like, it's going to get to your head.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that controlling aspect, because we always want to be in people's business at the end of the day. It's human nature.
I kind of want to piggyback off of that, where like if you were to get worried about who people are Snapchatting and stuff like that, I think a lot of it is a matter of trust who you have in that you have in that relationship. Because if if you're not going to be able to trust your boyfriend or girlfriend, then it's really not going to go well.
Yeah, for sure. Ben, you got anything to say?
Well, yeah, I just got same thing as him, really. I mean, like, if you don't have trust, don't be in a relationship.
If you were in a relationship, would you ask your girlfriend for her like Instagram or Snapchat password?
No.
No. That's OD.
That's
see,
mad
from a
OD.
girl's perspective, sometimes that's kind of like, we enjoy to have that. I get from like a guy's perspective where you're at like, okay, no, it's an invasion of privacy and that type of thing. But for, like sometimes for girls, it's like they kind of need that.
Yeah.
Why do they need that?
I don't know. I'm just saying in general. It's not my personal
Just for the
opinion,
record, she
though.
doesn't have no to my social media password.
Yeah,
no. Where she get none of them because it's not happening.
Not my personal opinion, but
yeah.
sometimes it gets like that.
But
with
why?
some-
Speaking, you're the only girl here. Tell us, why do you think?
I don't feel that way, so I
don't?
can't answer that question for you.
I thought you did.
No.
Because it's like you've asked for it before. I'm just kidding. She has. No, she has. No, I'm kidding. No, but
Don't even.
No, but in a sense, it's like if you need to have that or you ask for it, then you obviously don't trust the person in the beginning. So
Well, yeah.
you think that thought should just come through a person's head?
Well, I
Like,
mean,
well,
that would probably come along asking that because of something that could have happened that broken the trust. I think that's when that should be appropriate, or maybe that could be talked about in a situation, but.
Yeah, I kind of get that. Again, I think a lot of it is to have trust in your partner, because if you don't have it, then it's really not going to end well.
If social media wasn't a thing, you think relationships will last longer in 2019?
No. 'Cause I feel-
It'll still be the same?
Yeah, I think it'd still be the same.
I think that might last longer, honestly,
How come?
because people aren't going to be as tempted to not trust. Because if you were to have, say, if I had a girlfriend and I were to like another person's picture and she were to get upset about that and that start a whole fight, that's not going to happen if there isn't any.
How are you going to keep in contact, say, like your significant other's like traveling or in a different state or something
Mail.
like that?
Mail.
Like, that's not convenient.
Bro,
or
no
quick.
one mails each other
Yeah.
nowadays.
Hold on, I gotta
Well,
say.
you
don't even
brought the
text.
hypothetical of no technology.
Well, but I'm saying, no, I'm not talking about no technology. I'm talking about no social media.
no
in
social media.
general.
Oh.
Because it's like,
Well, then you can
nowadays,
text.
people don't text. No, like, I don't even believe that. Nowadays, people don't text. You get a message and someone will reply to you like an hour, 2 hours later. But yet, you'll see them active on Instagram or active, well, I don't know, you can't tell if they're active on Snapchat, but you can tell if they're like retweeting stuff on Twitter. So it's like, whoa, you don't like texting, but I see you on social media, so this is what we're doing nowadays. And then it's like, I feel like that has also come to play because now we're so addictive to what's going on. Oh, what's this person posting on Instagram? And then you forget that you have like messages to reply back. And then when your significant other sees that, you took like 2-3 hours, maybe a whole day to text him back a simple message over the phone. Then he's like, okay, so what are we doing here? If you're not gonna communicate with me just by texting and I see you're on social media doing God knows what, then how, I feel like that one comes in girls' sense, like how can I trust you? Because you don't know what someone's doing on social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just don't know unless you got their password.
See, I wouldn't give my significant other a password. I mean, like, it's not what I'm
It's
doing
not-
wrong.
it's not
just,
ethical. It's ethical,
just
unethical.
the fact that you should trust me on what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So yeah, like you shouldn't be wondering what my password is because you don't want to go through, like, you want to go through my DMs. Like, I'm not DMing anyone.
Yeah.
Like, you should trust me in that case.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna, like again, I feel like a lot of relationships just come down to that trust. And if you were to give someone your password, I feel like
They
like,
would
at
they
least
would look for something that they don't
they would
want
look
to see.
they would look for either they would look for something or they would just be like, oh, I don't need this.
Yeah, because it feel like it would be a waste at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if you guys had relationships before, did that end because of social media being a portion of it? As soon as I asked that, look at the look in your face.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
No, I'm just
nah,
laughing.
Nah,
No,
look at
it
the
wasn't.
Look on your face.
She was just crazy.
Why was she crazy?
I'm not gonna talk about it.
What she do? She slash your tires or something
No,
like
no,
that?
no. Just,
She
I,
threatened
I
to-
ain't get. I'm not getting into it.
Not getting into it.
No,
If
it's
someone
too long of a story.
Is someone that goes here?
No,
Nah.
cousin does.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You better hope this don't air. She gonna. Well, at least you lucky you a commuter, so you don't stay on
Yeah,
campus,
I'm good.
bro. What about you?
No, not personally.
I haven't either.
I kind of have, but we'll save that for next episode. All right, guys, coming up, last segment here on Keep It 100. We're going to talk about here with the crew. Hopefully, got a new crew. I don't know what's going on. Stay tuned for more on Hawk TV.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to another segment here of Keep It 100 on Hawk TV. Joined here by the two beautiful women here, Mike Orlando. So this might get a little tricky and debated, but guys, we'll have the situation where does hooking up on the first time you meet someone, both for men and women, make them, in a way, promiscuous, to say the least?
Who's starting that one?
Yeah, who's starting that? Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I'm starting that one?
Throw it to you.
I don't know, like, okay, if it's like first time ever meeting someone, like, and you're having a couple drinks, you're at a concert, or like, I don't know, you're in like that kind of vibe type thing, you know, like for me, I have to kind of, if I'm doing that, like I'm drunk at that point. So like, yes, well, actually, no, because like you're both drunk, like you're both having fun or whatever, and if it's doesn't hurt, you know? First date though, that one's tricky, because it's like normally it's like you want to be sober or whatever, so it's just like maybe have a drink or two, but like not. It depends on the connection, I guess, is what I'm saying. It's kind of weird.
I think like if you are vibing with someone the first time you meet them and it's consensual, it's your business, you know, go ahead, do what you want, test it out, whatever it is. I don't think like
No 90-day rule?
nah, that's a
90-day
lot.
rule. What?
That's a long time.
You never
Wait.
watched?
What if you
What
waste
90
your
day
time
rule?
though?
Think like a
Yeah,
man.
think like a man.
Yeah.
This woman had this man on a 90-day rule. So like when they started going out, she made him wait 90 days until he got the cookie. And then, but like I think she got it like a month or so, or
But,
like a
like-
couple weeks.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too much. Like 90 days, like that's like an exact science, but that doesn't like say like if you have a connection with the person, like if it's like, I don't know, like the vibe of it all.
So what you're saying is it all depends on the situation and circumstance.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think it's 110% situation and circumstance. Like, honestly, if you guys are in that kind of like understanding with each other, that it's like, oh, if maybe this is just what it is, or maybe it's gonna be more than that, then I think you guys like, you'll understand that. If it's, I think when it just like it gets screwed up when people try to like, you know, like put that pressure of like outside opinion on it. That's when it's like, you know, because I feel like a lot more people have, you know, first night stands, one night stands, and all that more than they let on.
And like definitely for girls, it just comes out worse.
If
It's
we-
always best more for
yeah.
girls.
Especially women, because
That's true. Guys don't really get the heat for it.
Yeah, they
No.
kind of
Like,
get like,
it's
hey, yo.
it's kind of
this
just
shit,
like it's actually like counterproductive for y'all if you guys have to wait longer to get the cookie. You know, it's like, oh, you had to wait a month to hit. Oh, what? You know. When it comes to females, it's like, oh, you hit the first night. Whoa,
like,
you might be a little sketchy, sis. You know.
So I'm gonna give you a scenario. You're at a party, you see like a good-looking guy, you guys are making eye contact, chopping it up, you know what I mean? The vibe is there, the connection is there so far. Would you go home with him that night? Or would you, and if you do, would that kind of make you promiscuous in a say? How would you feel if that was in your situation? Like, would you go through with it, or would you be like, nah, I think I'm gonna make him wait? Or you, whoever wanna go.
Okay, I'll go. In my opinion, and I'm only speaking from because this is my personal opinion on the fact, I wouldn't, just because I don't trust men like that. Like, it's just, if I don't know you personally, like outside of like the first time I'm meeting you, I'm not gonna take you to my home like immediately, you know.
You could be a serial killer.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. And listen, a lot's going on right now. Women got to be careful, especially with stuff like that. So, in my opinion, I would say no. First time meeting you, and I meet you at a party, I'm not taking you home.
Yeah, that's risky. I agree. Like, if I maybe like have a friend that knows you a bit, and they could like tell me like, oh yeah, you know, he's cool, he's a cool guy, whatever. Maybe that's different. But if I don't know you at all, that's just risky.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, we're all college students. I think it just, like you guys said, echoing what you guys said, it all depends on the circumstances. Like, we've all been through that phase in our life. So some of us are older than each other, but at the end of the day, when you realize, when you mature enough, when you realize, okay, well, college is not gonna be forever, I gotta start to look to find someone I could like build towards the future with, like found a foundation, you know what I mean, build financially, build, you know, emotionally and stuff like that. And once you finally figure that out, I think it probably takes about junior, senior year till you actually get out of that promiscuous stage, because, you know, we're talking about here. But I feel like if you're a freshman or sophomore in college, it's kind of okay, unless if you found someone that, oh, you know, like this person could be, you know, my future. You don't know it, but you gotta give them that chance. But let's transition over to the dating aspect. So you're with someone, you guys go on the first date. Does hooking up on the first date with someone, male or female, do you view them as being promiscuous in a sense? Is that okay for that to do?
I like take it back to what I said before. I really think it's just off the vibes of the person. And if like, so it's a first date, you've probably already been, who knows, texting them, talking to them through socials. So I think like, I don't think it's bad if it's consensual and the vibes are there, go for it.
Yeah.
If it's just like a stranger, you know, like if it's just kind of like a blind date thing, then no. But it's like most of the time, like if I go out with someone, it's like, okay, like someone knows them along the lines, you know, or maybe I've known them for a while, but maybe it's been like, okay, we just finally started to go on like a date or something.
And I also feel like regardless of if you're gonna do it the first night or if you're gonna wait a month, you're still gonna get the same outcome. You get me? Like, so if you're waiting and you think that's gonna mean something or make something more special, it's only to yourself, because the person, from their perspective, could, you know, like, you guys could get involved on the first night and it would make no difference to them regardless if you had waited 2 months or 3 months, you know, like, I think it's really perspective.
So
on the
basically, you're saying
situation.
regardless of when it happens, it's all about the connections, what I'm trying to get at? from
Yeah.
you?
it's-
That's true.
So, because some people can click quicker, like some people could literally click the first time they see each other, or it's like, okay, I'm not really feeling this person. Maybe he had an off day, or they had an off day. Let me try again, like in a week or so.
Yeah, but I also think it's like, you have to give more time to like let them see like, I don't know, the best and worst in each other, you know? Like yet again, like it depends on vibe and connection, but it's just like at the same time, I don't want someone ever just seeing me at my best all the time. Because then it's like, okay, like then they don't actually, then it's like more
They don't
surface level
know.
than anything, you know? But it's like at the same time, if you have like that month or 2 month period, it's like stuff's bound to hit the fan eventually, and then you could have your off day, and then to see their reaction to it, whether they're comforting, whether it's X, Y, or Z, like it can just, I think it gives such a development to it.
Now I got a
Or
question
depth.
for you females, and Mike, you could jump on this too if you want. It's easy for guys to fake a vibe. How, because you women are like incredibly smart as hell and could catch on to fake stuff like that. How can you notice if a guy's getting off a fake vibe? Whether if it's at a party, a college setting, like a park or anything like that. How do you know, can you tell when a guy is just, okay, this is not really who he is. I feel like there's something more to him that he's not telling you.
Yes. What? It's literally, you just listen to them, what they say, the way that they say these things. Like, usually somebody that's BSing you will say BS. Like, it'll just, it'll sound completely ingenuine, or they'll be arrogant and talk themselves up. And like, you can tell when you're having genuine conversation and when you're just chatting to make conversation. I think that's the ultimate like determinant for.
Personally, I think like, cause I'm a little stalker myself, so maybe if
All
I see
girls
how
are.
they
All
act
girls are.
on Twitter, on Instagram, and if it's just not the same vibe they're giving off in person, I'm gonna claim that they're just faking it right off the bat. I'm like, that's not how you act on your Instagram. I know that's not you.
They do their research.
She said, "I'll put."
They do their research before they go on. Yeah,
I
that's,
got the receipts.
you got it right there, yeah. No, but it's just like, I don't know, you can always tell like fake, you know, and like you said, it's like if you're having a conversation with someone and it's just like not genuine, my whole thing is like, you get like a gut feeling, and 99% of the time that gut feeling is right, where it's like if you get a vibe off someone that it's like they're not being genuine or dishonest, the fact that that thought is coming through your head means that they're not being honest or genuine.
Or it could just be overthinking too, based off past experiences. Because a lot of us, like I don't want to speak for anyone, but I feel like some of us have had bad relationship passes in the before, and we just kind of bring that into the present now. But all right, guys, that's it for the first segment here at Keep It 100. We'll be back with more juicy relationship stuff. Don't miss it.
Awkward. Do I look familiar? I should. You might remember me from here. Here. Or maybe even here. But an awkward silence can be a great thing. It can actually be a perfect moment to reach out to a friend and ask if they're okay, if they seem down. Doesn't matter how you say it.
You all right?
Everything's okay?
All G?
You all right, girl?
Oh,
You cool?
you bugging dog.
Just show you're there for them. Go on, Kelly. Seize the awkward.
Hey, you haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back to the last segment here of Keep It 100. So, last topic we're going to talk about who has it harder in today's society, men or women? Who wants to start it off?
I think we all know the answer to this. We all know that women have the problems here in society. Our problems are generally caused by men.
Whoa! Whoa! That's what problem caused by men? You just start something now.
I mean, which problem? Which do we want to start at?
Okay, take the relationship aspect out of it. The monthly cycle, is that our problem? Do we cause that?
Okay, literally, that's the only problem.
Okay. No, but you said all problems.
All right.
I had to defend my
minus
gender.
Mother Nature.
Okay. Like 70% of.
70%.
Go ahead.
Honestly, it's a little bit of both, but I can see why like men have it hard too. Just because like everybody's like used to being like, oh, like men aren't but like sometimes women aren't either. Let's be real. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, people suck, but I think I'll say this. I think that
there's some good tea right here.
I think that that men in general are just not good. I think that the gentleman is a dying breed, and yeah, we gotta just learn about chivalry and being respectful and everything. And I think that far too often, like especially like just in media and like culture and everything, is that there is this a major lack of respect for women.
Yeah.
Like it really, it's kind of, I don't know why.
I feel like
this is what it is.
I feel like social media has played a part in that and the disrespect of women lately, because you see all these, again, going back to Instagram and Twitter, you see these social media models where like you did give expectations of this is how a woman is supposed to look like, or giving the false representation that women are supposed to expose their body on social media, which is not the way at all. But I'm gonna piggyback off you. I think it's 50-50 in a sense, because here's the thing. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. You guys go through a lot. Listen, I can't even imagine giving birth. I can't imagine going through that monthly cycle, dealing with all, the stuff that you gotta deal with personally. Damn, I can't even touch that shit.
That's just 2 out of 99 problems.
Yeah, that's like, y'all go through a lot. But we go through sometimes too. Some men have, anxiety problems. Some men have depression that we don't know about. Not everyone has their own problems, But you females should go for the men who usually aren't in the first place. I'm not saying you guys. I'm saying general. Not you guys.
Okay,
general. I'm saying general.
No, I have something to add.
Nah,
to
not stereotyping.
I have something good to add. I feel like in a lot of things, I feel like there's a lot more expectations when it comes to men other than women. Because like I feel like when you get like a guy, like you expect him to like take you out and like pay for stuff. But like if you're a girl, you're not really like expected to like pay for dates. Like I feel like that's like on you if you want to do that. But I feel like when it's like a boy, like you expect that. Like I feel like we expect more from men.
Well, I think you should though.
Yeah, I think the misconception we have now is that a lot of men feel as though that they shouldn't be doing these things for women just because of a growing lack of respect for women. based off of social media perception and everything else that comes in between that. But I feel like men in no way are obligated to do anything that they don't want to do. I feel like from your perspective, it should be a 50-50 thing. Like, it shouldn't be men constantly providing for a female, women provide nothing and just take. It definitely should be, if you guys are in a relationship, it should be, oh, if I'm taking you on a date this week, he takes me on a date next week. Like, you pick up the bill, I pick up the bill, or whatever, you know, compromise somewhere. Because obviously, like, chivalry is a thing that, you know, like, I think is important. And that it is courteous of men to do that.
It's
yeah,
degraded.
yeah, but it's definitely not like a man should constantly be responsible for these things. That's not fair to them.
I like that you brought up that expectation, because I feel like more and more as we progress into the 21st century, we just had this, oh, well, you know, I want my man to be rich, and he has to have money, and he has to provide me all these things. When it's like, you a female, you can do the same shit for you too. Like, you don't need no man to buy you a house, buy you a car.
Oh, yeah.
You want to build with him to take you on that journey, but you don't need no man to do that for you, sis. You can do that on your own. Grind, hustle.
Yeah, and I'll speak from personal opinion. Any female that believes that a man should be able to provide all these things for them and they can't provide that for themselves is ignorant, and it definitely is not like mature enough to understand what they're saying, because if you can't afford something, why would you expect somebody else to do it for you? Like, that's just an expectation that is so far beyond, like, it's so superficial. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
And like I said, just now we're going through with, we talked about social media impacting relationship, but I just feel like there's always a good and bad to when new things come out. Like, when social media wasn't around, we still had those expectations, those unrealistic expectations of men, but it wasn't as a high rate as it is nowadays. Because it's like, you see, everybody is just so fake on social media, because I want to live this perfect life, but you are not perfect. Just stop, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm so happy. No, you're not. Just like, it's okay to be unhappy.
Yeah, and I feel like with men, like, it's harder for them to, like, be like, oh, yeah, like, I'm not okay. Like, oh, like, I need help. Like, I feel like you're expected to, like, be manly all the time. So, like, I feel like that's hard on men. Like, women are, like, okay with, like, getting help and, like, saying they're going through something, but no.
But I read something too. Women are more open to disclose information about themselves, where men, we have this something in our nature where we just kind of cut it off. We don't like, you know, putting our emotions out there, because society terms, we're seen as a bitch if we do that. It's like, oh, well, why are you expressing how you feel to your girlfriend? You know, I mean, you should, you know, go out to a bar and start drinking, like, joke that away. But it's like, other people have different ways of expressing their emotions. And it's like, some people like to keep it inside. Some people just like to let it, you know, live its course and die out. And some people just like to talk about it right there and then and dead it. And it's like, well, you're a guy. It's like, well, why you talk about your feelings to your girl? You're this and that. You're not a man. Or girls is like, oh, why are you doing so for your man if he ain't, you know, he ain't got all this, he ain't got no money in the bank type stuff like that. It's like, whoa.
I mean, like, to counteract your argument, I feel like that's toxic masculinity at its finest. Like, only men feel like men shouldn't express themselves. Women are, I feel like majority of females are very encourage men to be more open and be more understanding. And I feel like the main reason why a lot of relationships and females and male relationships aren't working is because of a lack of emotional intelligence that men have, because they don't understand their emotions and they don't understand how to process them and they don't know how to express them properly, which causes this barrier between females and males of, a female's being overly sensitive and a male's being undersensitive. So then you just have this constant, like, gray area of, like, you don't know how you truly feel.
Because you gotta try to meet each other halfway.
And you gotta try to, like, coax each other into coming, like, to an understanding when it shouldn't be that complicated. And I just feel like that's all tied into, like, toxic masculinity. Like,
yeah, I think we just think about it too much. If you're a guy and you're upset, you can cry.
Say something about it.
You know, it's totally normal. It's called emotions. We're all human beings. We're all animals. You know, we all have.
Some people just display it in different ways.
Yeah, you know, like, you know, I'm the type of guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm not really afraid of it. I'm not afraid of my emotions or anything like that. Like, it's actually what I'm secure with myself about. So it's like, I guess it's just society in general. You know, it's like, I mean, toxic masculinity. I don't know why it's a thing. I don't really understand it. I don't get it, because
I think it's just like a nature thing.
I mean, like, there's literally, like, being emotional is masculine in a sense. If you want to be a man, it's the same concept. But, you know, they just take and they misconstrue it. I mean, if you read, like, old like ancient texts from like the Greeks. The Greeks would cry before battle because it meant that you cared. It meant it was powerful, you know, and emotion is power. So I don't really understand the whole notion of toxic masculinity. Very confusing.
Yeah, we went deep with this segment.
Yeah, I think
this went
if
deep.
a boy write me a paragraph, I'm sending it in the group chat. And we're laughing at him. And that's all I have to say. And that's why we're more wrong.
You took everything we said.
Hey, yo, you just did a complete 180. But all right, guys, that is it for this episode of Keep It 100. We will be back next week with some more in-depth talks, conversations. Stay tuned for more. Peace.
Go Hawks.